Can we just talk about the Metallica album for an hour instead of
We
doing
should
the
have. I
Mermaid
wish I
movie?
would
'Cause
have
I fucking
been.
hate it.
I wish I've been recording like the whole time. I just like made that the entire intro. All right. You're gonna hate this tagline even more.
Oh no.
If
That's
you reject
true.
her, she'll punish you. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
Punish.
Also, terror lies just beneath the surface. Also
Yeah,
extremely bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Katey, what did you do to us?
I have a confession.
I know. I saw your.
I
rating.
see your star
No,
review on
Okay,
there.
my confession is not that I actually really liked this movie. My confession is that
It's your
I
favorite
meant-
movie of all time.
no, apparently that's House on Haunted Hill. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
My confession is that I actually did really want to watch this movie, but I meant to pick a different movie. I thought I was picking Killer Mermaid. Like the plot of Killer Mermaid is what I had in my head to pick, and I picked this one by accident. So, sorry, but
This is episode 149 of I Hope You Suffer. My name
Oh
is.
my god. The cover for Killer Mermaid. I'm sorry. It can't wait.
So let's all just pause and we'll watch that now.
Yeah.
okay, so I did start watching it. I only got like 20 minutes in, but it's way more of a I Hope You Suffer movie than this one is because it starts with this like Euro electro song about having a dangerous adventure, and then there's like boobs immediately. So I was like, this is definitely what I meant to pick. But
Well, so real quick, we watched The Mermaid, Lake of the Dead, which is a Russian movie from 2018. So when you picked this, I had this on my watch list too, or I think I'd had this on. I had a watch list for a while for like options for the podcast, and I had it on there because like the cover is like modern enough that it just kind of looks like that shit you see on Tubi where you're like, this might be good, and then you watch it, it's like extremely low budget and shitty.
right.
But it's got a 1.8 star rating on Letterboxd, so I was like, okay, so I know this is gonna be bad. And then I started watching it, and I was like, this movie looks fine. Like,
yeah.
it sucks. I didn't like it, but it's like a competently made movie, I guess. Like it's like everything looks
It doesn't.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
it
but
doesn't
it's like,
look low budget.
it's just like a ghost story though. There's like no mermaid really. And
So-
I was gonna say I saw people like speculating that they think there was a translation between like the Russian to English in the title.
So okay,
Margos.
Yeah.
this is
Ghost
like
Maid.
this is like another robo vampire thing where like they were actually zombies, because go back and listen to that if you want the explanation. So
Also, just go watch that movie instead.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can go watch that movie. So the thing in this movie is actually a rusalka, which is like it is a ghost. It's like a female entity who is often like connected with water. There's like a couple different reasons. There's like a couple different versions of it. Some people think it's like a child who died unbaptized, which obviously that's not the case in this movie. It's like regional, but it is like it's different in that like what we think of a mermaid is not the same thing as what this thing is, but it's like frequently resembles what we know of as a mermaid, so that's why it's called a mermaid. So like technically it's a ghost, and this is a ghost movie, which is why I really liked it, because I think so overall I really liked it. I think I gave it like a 4 or
Yeah, you gave it
something.
a 3.5.
3.5. Um, the ending to me sort of falls apart a little bit. I didn't think that her origin story was very good, and then like some of the shit that happens with her, I was like, whatever. But overall, I thought it looked really cool. They have this like greenish filter over the whole movie that I visually really liked. And I think that they did some really cool things with the actual mermaid ghost lady. I think they tried to do too much towards the end because there was a few parts in this movie where like when they go back to the cabin, I'm like, wow, this there's still half of the movie left. Like, what is happening? So I think they just kind of like did too much, but there was a couple of scenes in this movie that I really liked, and they did some stuff that like I hadn't seen before. So overall, I really liked it. I think I didn't realize when I picked this that it was Russian, so like I legit just thought I was picking a mermaid, obviously because I picked it for so now the movie doesn't really make sense in the category I picked it for, which is why then I realized I wanted to pick Killer Mermaid instead. But I'm not really sure that that one is actual mermaids either, so who I don't know. So yeah, this ended up not being like a real mermaid thing, but I still was very shocked. I liked it a lot. Except I wish I could have watched it not dubbed. But
I got a question.
okay.
Did you guys see that Metallica cover album announcement? No, this was like, it was fine. Like, the entire time I was like, well, this isn't a mermaid, so, like...
Yeah.
But it also felt like there was so much shit in it that I was just like, this just feels like shit they stole from, like, It Chapter 1. To me. Like stuff where, like, all the fucking water in the basement, and, like...
Yeah.
I don't know, and, like... There were things that, like, I thought were, like kind of okay, like the shit in, like, with the car, like, I don't know, like, I felt like everything in it was, like, stolen from other better movies, but, like, not done so, like, shittily that I was just like, well, this is trash, but, like, it was just kind of, it was boring, I think. Like, nothing in it necessarily felt, like, really original to me, at least, but I also I don't know, like a lot of stuff I feel like I had seen in other movies, but like I don't know, it was fine. I know Kit gave it a half star and I know he hated it, so
dang.
Not a fan.
It like I don't know, it was fine.
I maybe would have given it like 1 star to 1.5 stars if it wasn't dubbed, but the dub was fucking awful.
See,
my god!
Whoever
did the voice acting was, I don't know. I don't have a good descriptor of them.
I've watched so many like badly dubbed like kung fu and like Italian movies this month that I like barely even noticed it.
The thing that was weird to me is that like not only did they voice over it, but they also did, I feel like, added things that like you wouldn't have heard anyway, like gasping or breathing really loud or panting.
When you look it up on IMDb, it comes up with 2 directors because there was a director for the Russian version and they have one that's listed for the American version. And I think they did shit. Like, I think the director for the English version that dubbed it just kind of took liberties.
Yeah, because my other issue is that, like, obviously they've changed the script a little bit, and I feel like part of where it fails is that the subtitles obviously are the English script, and I think sometimes it didn't, like, what they were saying didn't come across very well. But then it's like pretty blatant that like the mermaid creature, I don't think they dubbed her voice because I think she was just speaking in English, it sounded like, but I don't know.
All right, so end of movie. We're done, right? We're just go back and talk about Metallica. Talking about Yo-Yo Ma.
Wolf and Man.
Yeah, Darius Rucker, cover of Wolf and Man. That'd be so bad.
Yes.
All right, Katie, go ahead. Tell us about your new favorite movie.
Well, it does. Well, it starts off with the thing I don't like, where they describe the lore of mermaids, even though like I thought the little cartoony illustrations were kind of cool, but it's like also a child telling us the folklore for some reason, and I don't really feel like we needed. I don't know. Maybe we did because they didn't really explain it. But basically, the girl is telling us about how in ancient Russia, they say not to walk near the lake at night because there's a mermaid in there. And if you confess your feelings to her, she'll stun and tickle you.
Oh,
Terrible.
yeah,
I don't want to be tickled.
that should be like the way she kills everybody in this movie. Or at least raised it a star for me.
There was no tickling. Yeah. And then she drags you down to the bottom. Or if you resist her charms, she will torment you for the rest of your life and separate you from your true love. And then you can give up your most precious thing and she'll let you go. But the thing is that she's never let anyone go.
So
Why would I give up my copy of the Black Album?
yeah. So
Your
like
53 covers of the Black Album.
so basically if you come across this woman, you're fucked regardless.
You're
Like, like
Yep.
just I would just be like, fine, I love you. Just get it over with
Take
because
me.
it's gonna
Let's
end
do
at
it.
least be less suffering.
Yeah,
I would trick her by saying I dove you.
Oh.
See if
See
if I could like slur it enough. Like I love you.
What you do is you just
All
always have
accused?
like a recorder with you that you can just play a tape saying it, and then she'll just go after that person instead.
she'll be like, "What?"
There it is.
Yeah.
But just do
Just
it like
get a-
you could
just
just
get a
cut
dummy.
like the audio from this, or it's just Katey and like clip it together. It's like I love you, and then
Don't send her after me. I don't know. She's I my thing would be like, I will come with you, but I want to be a scary water monster also. I don't want to be just, I don't want to I don't know what happens to these people. They just die, I guess. I don't know. They could have done
Yeah.
something more with that, I feel
yeah,
like.
they could become
Yeah.
mermaids.
That would be
Honestly,
sweet.
if I didn't have to work anymore, like whatever, I don't care. Take me into the lake. I don't give a
Well,
shit.
that's
Yeah,
your
same.
job now, is luring people into the depths to tickle them.
That sounds
That sounds
That-
great.
that's-
sounds
Yeah,
better
that
than
sounds way
retail.
better.
So anyways, yeah. So essentially, I guess the thing is that maybe you're not supposed to answer her at all because it's kind of like one of those. There's a lot of like Japanese folklore where Kuchisaka Ono is like one of the main ones where she like walks up to you and says like, "Do you think I'm pretty?" or whatever. And either way that you answer, if you say yes or if you say no, she's gonna get you. So like, I guess the thing is you don't say anything and you can get away, or just
This-
don't go by the water, which is our general rule.
This mermaid is very clingy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
first meeting, like, hey, do you love me?
Do you love me?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stalk you for the rest of your life.
I mean,
Yeah, not great.
look, so this whole movie was basically just 90 Day Fiance with a ghost instead of human beings.
I was gonna jokingly say this is essentially Swim Fan but Russian.
Well, I'm bumping it up like a star.
You're just thinking of this ghost on 90 Day Fiance
You know what? I'm
dating
not gonna
Colt
lie.
or whoever.
Show that was 90 Day Fiance, and like whoever the main person of the couple is, like shows up to meet their person, and it's like a fucking ghost or like a vampire or some shit,
some,
and they're
like,
like,
Some woman just drenched in water.
yeah, do you love me? And then he's like,
Yes, can
Yeah.
I get a visa
your
out of this?
picture, yeah, right. And then like they cut to the interview, and he's like, she doesn't really look like her picture, but it's probably fine.
Not to like make this episode longer than it needs to be, only because we have to do another one. So there's a new show on Discovery Plus called 90 Day Fiance Foodie Call.
What?
It's just the couples as like they each like they cook meals from like whatever country that like the person that moved to America is from. So like one of the couples, they cook like, you know, 2 Thai dishes or something like that. But they answer relationship questions while they're doing it from like fans. And oh boy, is it's it's wild.
Wow.
I don't know if you saw this David and Annie, who like, I forget which show they were on. I can't remember if they're on the regular one or not, but like, it's like David was the dude from America who he has no money and doesn't have a house, and like brings this woman to America from Thailand, and like they live in like a fire station that's like abandoned for what.
Yes.
So well, this is the thing. So
His friend owns the fire station, right? So they're like renting out the top of a fire station, an abandoned fire station.
and then they move into a storage unit office.
Oh, oh my god.
What's fucked up though is
Yeah, that's not the fucked up part.
well, no. So like there's like a series called Pillow Talk that's just like the couples previously from the show will watch like the new episodes and like comment on them and stuff, like a, you know, just like a watch along thing. And they're the most stable couple of any related couple that's been on that show. Like,
Oh my god.
they got like, he got his shit together and they became like a good couple, and they like get along, and they're like the funniest people on that show. And so they do the first episode of the food one, and like people are like writing in, and like one of somebody asked like something like, what's your guys' favorite body parts on each other, and she's like, his dick, because it's huge, and also he eats pussy well. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh. Yikes.
All while she's
Amazing.
she's cooking something called fuck soup, FUK, which I guess is like the Thai name for like winter melon. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
best show I've ever seen.
Holy shit. Okay.
Amazing.
Well,
All right, now that I have 35
not sure
minute
how that
stories.
happened. But
Because we were talking about the ghost being on 90 Day Fiancé.
yeah. No, yeah, I would watch that. Okay, so basically we get the folklore. There it is. Even though it doesn't really explain what the whatever, who cares. Then we get this man on a dock at night. This lake looks spooky as fuck. And he's just standing there. This girl is telling him not to speak, and he turns and looks at her, and his eyes are all red, like really red, like blood red. And he just like falls backwards into the water, and she is basically like saying to the water, give him back and take me instead. So he resurfaces and comes up, and they hug or whatever, but now the lady hears singing, and she's like, whoa, and she's just like snatched back, like snatched into the air, like poltergeist shit, and snatched into the water and pulled down. And it's the title. So now we meet this couple named Roma and Marina. Roma is sometimes also called Kit. They call him like 12 different things in this movie. But apparently Kit means whale in Russian. So
I don't like that.
there you go.
Yeah, I think I saw like a trivia that like most of the names on this were like somewhat water related, or at least like the two main characters.
And so like Marina, obviously,
Marie.
here we know that Marina is like a place that you dock your boats or whatever, but it also means in Latin marinus, which means of the sea. So clever.
They should have gone just Italian stuff, so it could have been Roma and Marinara.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just called him Roma. So
Everything's just named after like pasta ingredients.
Yeah.
Bertoli.
No fettuccine.
Tortellini, don't let her get you.
Okay, that reminds me. Okay, I don't want to tangent again, but there's this one like
Let's just not talk
TikToker
about this
guy,
movie.
and he does this like skit with these like three people. One's name is Tortellini, one's name is Mozzarella, and one's name is Bruschetta. But he does these like really ridiculous like British accents. I think his name is like Luke McMillan or something like that, and I encourage everyone to go look up his account because it is just ridiculous. Tortellini. That's how it. Anyways, okay. So there's two people in a pool, like a a pool, but like inside.
Yeah,
So a
that I
swimming
think
pool.
that's still called a pool.
It's like a pool for laps. It's like a lap pool. It's not just like a chill pool,
we
you
got
know.
we got there.
And jeez, they're talking about basically Roma has inherited this like lake house from his dad, and he wants to sell it, but Marina is like, no, I think we should like keep it and like fix it up, whatever. He's giving her swimming lessons. She can't swim. Then Roma's friend, whose name is Ilya, comes in, and he's talking about how he's going to throw him a bachelor party because Roma and Marina are engaged. And then Ilya challenges Roma to a race. So they're like swimmers as their profession. So they go to a race against each other, and Marina is going to practice swimming. As soon as she lets go of the side of the pool, she like immediately is too far away and starts to panic and drown and shit. But Roma finishes the race and saves her. Then she's like pissed at him for not being there for a while or whatever. And I was like, maybe you should have just waited.
Literally
I don't know.
everything up until they get to like the cabin, I was like, this is boring as fuck. I didn't care about any of the shit about like their relationship, or she thinks he's cheating on him, and
I mean, to be fair, he kind of does in the worst way. Well, okay, so
no, this movie would
yeah,
have been way better if he fucked a mermaid.
he didn't, to be fair, but we didn't see it. So, so yeah, she's basically like pissed off because like he left her to drown, even though whatever. But he leaves with Ilya to go to the summer house, for his bachelor party anyways. Meanwhile, like Marina is cutting Olga's hair. Olga is Roma's sister. And she's just giving her a haircut, and she's like kind of talking about how Roma's been acting sort of weird, and then she's kind of like, hey, I think we should keep the summer house, like fix it up and keep it. And Olga's kind of like, well, that's really weird that dad like gave him the cabin because we haven't spoken to our father in 20 years or whatever. So we finally see the summer house. It's also pretty spooky. Roma is talking about how he hasn't been there in 20 years because his mother drowned in the lake. So essentially what we saw in the very beginning was like his parents. And after that, they just like never saw their dad again, which is pretty fucked up. They go in the house, they're looking around. Roma goes to check, like, do fuse box stuff to get the lights back on, and notices that the entire basement is flooded. Gross. We've already talked about that in the It episode, how much I hate water in a basement. And then like the dudes show up to rage, and Olga is for some reason like telling Marina about how her and her mom used to tell fortunes by looking into mirrors, which sounds terrifying. And she's also like, hey, don't worry, you and Roma are great, like it's fine, everything's fine. Marina gives her a bag of her hair, and I was like, here you go, like I know you want to burn this because you believe in hair magic or something. And I was like, what the fuck? This comes back later, but at this point I was like, what is happening? There's a bunch of like, I don't know, haunting stuff that I sort of left out because it's not really important, but there's a lot of stuff that happens with like water and faucets working and not working and all that kind of shit. So back at the summer house, the dudes are basically just like, huh, LOL, marriage is a death sentence, yeah, and they also have hired some dancers. Roma is like, no thanks, I'm gonna go take a walk. So he goes swimming at night in this freaky ass lake. And, so this kind of
Seems
serves
like
him right what
not a
happens
good
to him.
idea.
I know. Even though he's like a professional swimmer, I still feel like you don't know what's in that lake. He hears a bunch of splashing in the water, so he gets out, and when he gets out on the dock, there's a girl standing there. She is wearing his shirt, which I didn't even know that's what happened, but he says it a few times. She also has this comb that she takes out and starts like brushing her hair, and the sound is so gross. It's like squelching almost. It's like
It's the best part of the movie, honestly.
it's so fucking gross. And then they kiss. Then she immediately asks if he loves her. And she smiles and her teeth are really gross.
Yeah, they get married in the end of the movie. They live happily ever
That's
after.
it. Yep. So the next morning the dudes come looking for Roma because he never came back in. They find him like passed out on the ground, and they pick up all of his stuff and like bring him out. Ilya finds the comb that the girl had. Then, so I don't know. I guess Roma goes back home. Marina, he like watches her sleep, which is kind of weird. And she's like doing laundry, and their laundry machine is in the kitchen for some reason, which I thought was strange.
Why not? Just put it right next to the stove.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just put your
sure.
dishes in there too. It's all good.
Their apartment also has like tarps up everywhere, but they never really explain like what's going on with the space they're living in. So that was really weird too. It's just like a hot mess around there. So yeah, and she finds the comb and she's like, "What the fuck is this comb?" So meanwhile, Roma is back at the pool, and his coach is kind of like giving him shit because he's being sucky at swimming. There's a swim meet coming up, and so he basically is supposed to go to dinner with Marina, but he doesn't because he's got to swim. Then after the practice, he goes to like take a shower, and the water is weird, like the water spigot's turning off and then it's turning on and off or whatever. And then he hears a bunch of banging in the locker room, so he goes in there, and the mermaid shows up, and she's like, "Do you love me?" And he's like, "What?" The subtitle here said "mermaid creaking," which I didn't like.
Yeah.
Look,
She's old. She creaks.
Yeah,
her knees are popping.
she's done a lot of manual labor in her life.
She's got those whistling knees.
Yeah, carrying all these fucking loafy men around.
That's true. Yeah, it's a hard life. He turns and she's like not actually there though. So there's a lot of like little scenes where she like appears in the background but isn't actually there, and she's pretty powerful, let me tell you. So like essentially one of the things that I wish they would have reined in a little bit was like the mermaid, whatever she is herself, because like she looks different every time they show her, and she just can like I've complained about this a lot of times. There's like no real rules. It's like as long as you're around water of some sort, then she's just like can do anything she wants. I don't know.
It's like Ghost Shark.
Yeah.
So there's another movie that's ripped off, Ghost Shark.
Were they? Yeah. I want like a buddy movie with them. She could have had cool. Anyways, okay. So
she looks like the little girl from The Ring, because she's just like soaking wet with like long hair squelching down around her.
Yeah, at least she's not. Yeah, she's got like. At least she's got blonde hair. I liked like the way that the lady who played her, she like played the part really well, because she had like really light hair and like really light eyelashes and eyebrows, so she looked kind of like fishy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, she looked like a fish.
She was a fish. So back at home, Roma comes home and he's like sick, he's coughing and shit. Marina brings him some tea. Oh my god, there is tickling.
There was?
Marina brings him some tea and then starts tickling his feet. And he's like, can you stop that? I'm fucking sick. And when he sets up, nobody's there.
Weird.
I just realized that there's tickling.
I feel like I blocked out everything before they get to the cabin.
Well, that's the only tickling, and it's just very brief
The
tickling.
movie would have been so awesome if the entire movie she wasn't trying to like kill them, she was just trying to tickle them.
She just like pops up and she's like, gonna get you, tickle tickle. So, then Marina actually comes in to bring him tea, and he's like, I don't love you, I don't love you. And she's like, what the fuck? So Marina goes into Skyping with Olga, and she's talking about how Olga's like, you guys should just sell the place. Marina is like, yeah, I don't know. He's acting kind of weird. Maybe he met somebody. I found this comb. And Olga's just like, nah, everything's fine. But meanwhile, she's looking through like some old pictures, and she finds a picture of her parents, and in the background, the fucking comb is there.
Oh, like, number
And
one, why are you worried about whoever's got this 300-year-old comb?
I know. Also, just ask him about it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, go in there, tickle him until he fucking tells you what you need to know.
And then Olga's cup of tea cracks and leaks everywhere. Very ominous. So then Marina is in the kitchen, and everything starts shaking, like, kind of like there's an earthquake. And she goes to check on Roma, and she, like, hears the shower running, so she like, peeks in and sees him standing in the shower. And then a woman's hand is caressing the back of his head, and she's like, I don't think so. And she pushes the door open, but nobody's there at all.
I like the idea that she thinks he was like being
Brought the
that
lady
being
in
that
there.
bold, like that he was just like, well, I know she's home, but fuck it, let's do this.
I know, like, they live together. It's not like she came to check on him. Like, she's been in the house the whole time. Yeah, so she opens the door. Nobody's there except that the tub is full of water for whatever reason, and the comb's in there. So she reaches in to get the comb, and then she's grabbed. But it was just a dream. She wakes up.
Like, this was the thing, is like this movie, like, for the most part, it's nothing but like the kind of generic jump scares that you get in most current kind of haunting movies. Because there's shit like that, but they just kind of weren't done like as good as like, I don't know, like something like, I guess, like Insidious did.
Yeah, my thing is, like, at this point, I don't really understand why Marina is being haunted. This? No, why Marina is being haunted, because, like, she doesn't have anything to do with this. It's just, like, Roma. So I don't know why, like, Olga and everyone else is also getting haunted.
I feel like I would have liked this more if it was, like, she was trying to kill, like, her instead of him. Like, she would, like, you know, attaches to, like, the dude, and then it's just like, well, I gotta get this, like, woman out of the way, and then he'll love me, instead of her, I don't know. I don't think I would like this either way.
Well, that's why I'm saying I just feel like the whole powers and shit with her, and, like, her reason, her, like, way that she operates is, like, a little convoluted. I think they could have made it clearer.
I think they should have made this a killer mermaid movie instead of a ghost movie.
It's probably not their fault that their mermaids are not the same as our mermaids, okay?
Yes, it is. Everything should be done the American way.
Ancient Russian lore.
Yeah, change your lore to...
So... this is, like, one of the scenes that I liked. Essentially, Roma goes to the swim meet.
Yeah, she went to buy some...
I wish it had been a swap meet.
She went to buy some tapes at a swap meet. Gotta get some Foghat cassettes.
The 53 cover Metallica Black Album.
Yeah. All Foghat covering a Wolfman.
he goes to the swim meet. He goes to start his race, and he jumps in, and he's like swimming like normal. But then all of a sudden, there's like seaweed and shit, and he's like, what? I'm in a pool. This is weird." And then he starts getting sort of like tangled in the seaweed, so he surfaces, and he's just like in the lake at nighttime, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He gets out of the water, like gets up on the dock, and the mermaid is there. She's looking real nasty at this point, and she asks again if he
Disagree.
loves her. And he says no, and she screeches at him like, "Ah!" She kind of had like a dolphin banshee thing going
Oh my
on,
god, I wish
which
it
was
was just
kind
a
of cool.
straight up dolphin squeak.
Ah, ah, I
That
can't
would be
do it,
amazing.
you know. And then he wakes up. He's being like CPR'd at the swim meet. And he's like, "What the fuck is happening?" But I like the idea of like him like having this like illusion of stuff happening, but in real life he's just like fucking drowning, and people are like, "What the hell?" At the hospital, they like take Roma to the hospital because he almost dies or whatever. He tells them about the mermaid, and Marina's like, "Oh, you're just dehydrated. You're fine." And then Olga is like, "Oh no, like tell us more. Like what happened?" And he admits that he and the mermaid kissed, and Marina is pissed off and she leaves. He's basically just like, "There was a girl at the lake and we kissed. I don't know what happened, but now I see her everywhere." So Marina leaves. For some reason, like Ilya and Olga let Roma like pull out his IV and like flop around after her in the hospital and like don't go after him at all. But he sees Marina, what he thinks is Marina, and follows her into this room where like there's like puddle on the floor that he steps in, and he turns and sees Marina there, but like it's not her because she shows up at the door and is like, "Roma, what are you doing?" And then the door slams shut. The faucet in the room like turns on full blast, and there's like a bed curtain laying on the ground, and it like rises up a little bit, and then he turns and like picks it up, and it's the mermaid, and she's like all gross and contorted like upside down, and I thought it was really gross, and her skin's like all gray, and she's like "Bleh," and she like lunges at him and does that screech. So I really liked that scene.
I think what
um
would have made this better is if at this point where they like when they find him and he's just like rolling around in that like sheet, if they just like institutionalized him and the rest of the movie was just him in like an asylum instead.
and they're just like, "Oh well."
But yeah, he snapped for his all the stress of trying to become a professional swimmer.
Yeah, it happens. um but then the door they get the door open, and it's just Roma rolling around on the ground. Um,
Kissing a fucking little
Dolphin.
yeah, a dolphin.
it's just like a dolphin out of water.
God,
Like,
this movie would have been
Yes.
so awesome if it was a fucking like oh, it was just dolphin noises the whole time. Now that's all I want.
she does kind of do like the clicky thing too sometimes. So then, like, for some reason, they're allowed to take Roma out of the hospital. So they all go to visit Roma and Olga's dad, for the first time in 20 years. Olga basically shows up and is like, "Hey, Dad." Olga says, Roma saw the girl at the lake. Like, what gives with that? And
He's like,
then
shut up,
Marina's
bitch!
like,
You don't know anything about this.
yeah, like Marina shows him the comb, and he's essentially just like, "I don't know." And then Roma comes in and it's looking all fucked up, and the dad's like, "Oh no. Okay, well, all you have to do is like don't talk to her. If you talk to her, she'll take you away." But like he's already been talking to her at this point, so what can he really do?
Like, thanks for
The
like
dad,
warning us about this in advance. If you knew this was a fucking thing.
right? And the other thing that's like not very clear is, did the dad actually send him the deed and shit to the cabin, or was that some kind of weird ghost thing? Because I feel like, why would he do that if he knew?
I feel like most of the stuff in this movie is pretty unclear.
Well, I also feel like the dad thinks that she's dead because he's like, he basically tells them what happened, which is a reshowing of the very beginning. And he says, like, your mom, I don't know what she did. She found something under the dock and she did something that made her go away.
Yeah, so
And I'm
just go
like,
do that.
how does but I'm like, okay, the thing that happened was that she sacrificed herself, and the dad is like, he did something that made her go away. Yeah, she sacrificed herself. Like, what are you talking about? That's the thing. She didn't kill her. And then also he's like talking about how he's still obsessed with the mermaid. He's like, I think about her every day, not your mom, but the girl. And I'm like, then she's obviously not dead, idiot. Anyways, so Marina is like, okay, let's go. Like, we need to go to the lake. So they leave to go to the lake. Um, Ilya and Olga go to the water because she's essentially like, you need to go dive in there and figure out like what's going on. And I'm like, don't you care about his well? Like, she's just gonna snatch him up too, you dummy. But anyways, he goes down there. He's swimming around for a while. And eventually he does find a grave down there. And also just casually some dead bodies floating around.
I mean, I assume that's
Been
every,
there.
every lake.
Yeah, I mean,
Been
Lake
there.
Lanier. Yeah. So, and I wish they would have done more with like these guys too, because like, anyways, so he he sees her, he like sees her grave or whatever, right? And then he comes face to face with one of the bodies, and one of the bodies like moves and looks at him. He's like, "Oh no!" And he tries to surface, and they're like grabbing at him and shit. He eventually pulls himself up on a boat, and Olga like pulls him up to the pier, and he's essentially just like, "I know the mermaid's name. Her name is Lisa." Lisa.
Lisa the mermaid.
Lisa.
Every time.
Classic mermaid name.
Yeah. So
This
meanwhile,
ancient underwater horror. Lisa.
We've all
So
we've
while
all
this is
been there. Had Lisa the mermaid after us.
meanwhile, Marina is like getting water from a well for Roma. There's like some jump scares with this, but essentially she sees somebody in a shed and she like goes to investigate. There's like all of these candles inside that are lit, and there's somebody there who is looking into a mirror and she's saying, "Take what's yours, give me the loved one." She's saying it over and over again. And
Pretty
then
weird.
I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Then she turns and she's all scary looking, like a ghost. And Marina's like, oh. So she runs inside to check on Roma. And she's like, I saw her. I saw your mother. And I was like, huh? Okay. Then there's some water dripping from the ceiling. And they're like, what? And then he just gets snatched right up. Like his chair slams into the wall and he goes flying down the hallway towards the basement. And Marina runs after it and grabs him, and she's like trying to pull him, and the mermaid like comes up from behind him and is like, "Rah!" and like screeching at her. And then Marina
Everybody
does
should hire you to do the effects for like the sound effects for monsters in movies.
she kind of does like a pterodactyl scream at this point. And then
I'm
Marina
gonna make a
does
killer
the thing.
dolphin movie. I'm gonna hire you to do dolphin noises.
Okay.
Perfect.
That wasn't a good one.
No, I disagree.
That's the saddest dolphin.
That's the sound it makes when it gets inevitably gets killed.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie.
It's
It's
last
just like
gasp.
sinking down into the depths. So the mermaid's like also they're like playing tug of war with him, and then Marina does what I always wish people would do in movies like this and just fucking kicks her in the face and slams the door shut. So
If she's a ghost, how is she able to like even touch her?
Force of
I don't
will.
she's kind of actually more like a poltergeist, I feel. because she's like giving them. I don't know.
We should have got Zach
She's
Baggins to explain this to us on this episode.
well, he's still ignoring me. So, um, okay. Ilya comes in and is like nailing the door shut. Olga is like, I don't know, maybe this is all about the comb because then she notices that Lisa's initials are
All
on
about
it.
the comb.
She just wants her fucking comb back. You guys stole from her. She can't.
I mean, when you find a nice comb,
It's hard
Just
to
squelches
replace.
your hair right and everything. It's just
yeah,
It's hard to get that
Spin-
squelch.
spent all day squelching my hair, and I lost my fucking comb.
My $100-year-old wooden comb.
new merch for my
It's
summer
$100
coming
too.
soon of just combs that squelch your hair.
Yeah, maybe it's all about comb.
I hate the
well-
idea. It's all right. Hear me out. It's a comb, but you fill it with gel. So whenever you comb, it oozes out the gel into your hair as you comb,
That's a good
giving
idea.
you the perfect squelch.
TM
It's like,
trademark.
yeah, it's like those like sponges that are on the handle and then you put
just
soap,
push the soap
dish
out of.
soap in it. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Let's just use those and just say it's a comb.
I don't know if a sponge would be very good at
Shut up!
tangling.
You're ruining this for us. We're gonna be billionaires.
Well,
We could
Yeah.
go into space.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to go to space if the only other person there is going to be Elon Musk.
No, it's gonna be Jeff
I
Bezos.
want to kick his ass.
I don't want to
We-
be there with him
We
either.
can push him out into space.
Okay.
I want to kick both their asses in space.
Yeah.
We'll just
I'll-
dress up with
that's fine.
Jason X and go
Yeah.
after him.
Space machete.
I like it. Well, we can also we'll just also develop like the comb, but it's like a switchblade comb.
But there's just a long tube with a bag of gel coming out of it.
Yeah.
It's like a toothpaste tube. That's just hair gel.
So, oh man.
We're done, right?
Yeah.
This movie's over.
Yeah. So, okay. Olga had noticed that the initials of that Lisa's initials are on the comb. And
LM.
Then-
Summer.
Lisa the Mermaid.
Lisa the Mermaid, yeah. And she says she thinks that Lisa originally died by suicide because whenever that happens, because they're kind of like, well, why is her grave in the water? And she said because when that happens, they don't bury them in cemeteries. They probably just buried her by the shore. Seems like still a weird place to bury someone by a lake that people use, but okay. And then
Also,
the
probably
lake-
where you're getting like drinking water from and like the time this happened.
yeah.
What
They
if
were
it's the
also-
part of the lake where they shit?
Ooh,
I
good
mean,
point.
it kind of looked like it.
Yeah, it's the poo
Yeah.
lake. No one was getting their comb from
Poor
there.
Lisa buried in the poo lake. That's why her hair needs so much combing.
All the
Uh,
shit is causing it to stick
I was
together.
gonna say, that's why it's making
Yeah.
that noise
Out.
too.
That's why it's squelching. Makes sense. Because they're
This
also
movie's
drinking
all
the
starting to
water.
make more sense in my brain
The-
now.
Starting,
Now that we're talking
starting
through
to
it.
come around on it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, and then the reason that she's underwater now is because they had built a new dam and then the lake expanded, so now it's completely covered. Anyways, so then also Marina's like, okay, well, your mom did this ritual, like we should try it. And Olga's like, yeah, but it obviously didn't work because she's still here tickling people. And then Marina's like, whatever. The scene was kind of weird though. She goes to check on Roma and then like gets attacked by a blanket. That was kind of unnecessary. Then she's like, okay, fuck this. Like, I'm going to go do the ritual. So she goes back to the shed and she lights all the candles. She looks in the mirror and she's got the comb and she tells Lisa to give her back her loved one. And meanwhile, outside the shed, Lisa appears to Ilya and she does her thing. She sings to him, they kiss. And then when she asks if he loves her, he says yes. He is ready to go.
He's in.
Yeah, he's her poop hair looks real good on her. She's looking good.
He wants that mermaid strange.
That's right. He wants to be tickled and stunned. Inside the house, Roma is like in a trance. He's trying to like break into the basement, and when Olga tries to stop him, he punches her in the face and is like choking her out. His eyes are all red at this point. Marina remembers Olga telling her about how when they were little, her and her mom used to do this thing where they like looked into mirrors to try and tell the fortune, right? So she picks up a hand mirror. I don't know. It's like a mirror scrying thing where like they try to look into the mirror to see their future loves or some shit. So she picks up the mirror and is like looking at her reflection, and behind her is the other mirror, right? And then
double mirror.
She's double mirrored. She drops the comb into a bowl of water and repeats the chant, which is that take what's yours, return the loved one, or whatever. Then the comb disappears, and Lisa shows up in the mirror right as the door bolts shut, and she starts basically she like shoves Marina's head down into the bowl of water. So now we get Lisa's backstory, which I feel could have been better, but here it is. So we get the visions of the lake. So basically Marina is seeing all of this in first person at first or whatever, and essentially we see this was the part that was confusing to me, because I was like, we see Lisa's life as like an 18th century's peasant, and I was like, why is she so old? I don't know.
That poop hair ages you.
Yeah, I guess so. The time frame was very confusing to me, because like nobody says at any point like this legend is from however old. It's just like she's like whatever, I don't know. So she's like on the dock with a guy who she's like, do you love me? And he's like, for all of my life or some shit, and gives her a ring. But then it cuts to Lisa walking in on him marrying someone else. Rude. She screeches really loud and breaks a mirror, and then picks up a shard of the mirror and kills them.
Yeah.
Then she runs away, and everyone's yelling at her about how she's a murderer, and she jumps into the lake. So I assume she also can't swim and just drowns. I have no idea. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't. Because I remember like the stuff when they show like that she sees them, like, her fiance or whatever with another woman, and then I don't remember any of the rest of this.
Well, because the thing that's confusing to me is that like she jumps off the dock that's already there, that's there in current time. So I'm not really sure how like she was buried under that dock, if like the dock was already whatever. It doesn't matter. So we think the spell's broken because Roma is back to normal.
I prefer Norma. We're being honest.
And he's like, Olga's like, oh, she's like scared or whatever. Roma is immediately like, oh no, and rushes to help Marina. The shed, he opens the door, and the shed is like completely filled with smoke. And he finds Marina, and she's basically like, do you love me? But then a bunch of other Marinas show up. There's like tons of them, and they're like, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Choose me, choose me, choose me. And he's got to pick which one is the correct Marina. Somehow he does. I don't know. He walks up to her and says, I love you. And then Lisa screams. And we see, like some kind of sea creature. And her
was that a sea creature?
Yeah. And then her headstone cracks apart. Okay. I'm like, all right. But then there's still 20 minutes left of the movie. So I was like, huh? What is happening here? So it's morning at this point. They're going to leave. Ilya is like messed up. He comes inside the house and he goes towards the basement and he's like, I do love you. Meanwhile, Roma's like, where's Ilya? And he goes inside to check on him. He hears like splashing in the basement, goes down there and sees Ilya laying face down in the water, but then he jumps in to save him and his body has just like disappeared. Then Lisa shows up and she says, I'll take everyone you love. And I was like, Lisa, this seems kind of against the rules, but do you, I guess. And oh yeah, this is like again kind of the it scene where her body, she's like standing straight up and her body just like stands out of the water like, you know, one of those clowns that you punch that just like comes back up. You know, just like brrr. I didn't like it though. I'll still say I've seen it before, but I still did not like it. And then he falls back into the water and is like, but then Marina and Olga save him, pull him out of the water. They drive off in the car, just like, fuck Ilya, I guess. And they like drive off in the car and they're like, ugh, and it starts raining and then the car stalls. And Roma's like, all right, I gotta get out and check the engine. So as he's doing that, Lisa shows up outside the car. And she makes the doors lock and she starts filling the car with water.
How does she
and
even
Marina
know what
and
a
Olga
car
are trapped
is?
inside. I don't know.
They've got sea cars, bro.
I guess that's true. Called submarines.
Sea cars.
Yeah.
all those submarines in the lake.
Oh my god.
It's
Well,
more likely than you think.
Yeah, when you first said sea car, I was sort of more picturing like the cars from the Flintstones, but like made out of shells. Like big shells.
Oh, that would rule.
You know what I mean?
They're like,
But submarine probably is, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. She probably knew what a carriage was. Close enough. So the car fills with water and they're like drowning or whatever. But Roma picks up a rock and breaks the window and saves them. Marina is like, okay, so it's not all about Comb.
Not all about Comb.
I'm always saying that. No one listens. It's not all about Comb, guys.
It's not.
There's
Even
more
if
to
your
life
comb
than
is
Comb.
really sick and squelches your hair just right. So, yeah, she's like, it's not all about Comb. She needs something else. And Roma's like, she needs me. And he runs off. And then Marina gets knocked out. So, Roma goes down to the lake. Lisa is there. And she's like, do you love me? And he's like, yeah, of course, babe. But she's like, no. She knows that he's lying at this point. And then she starts choking him out.
Seems like she's got trust issues.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her, honestly. I think she just needs to like just take some time off of a relationship and really like focus on herself, you know.
Got a comb.
Well, she needs her comb back first, so she has it back at this point. She needs to take her comb and go chill. So Marina wakes up. She's now tied to a chair in the basement.
Hold on. Okay, so this has nothing to do with anything other than I was trying to figure out something for the bonus episode we're going to do. So spoilers for that coming up. Charlie Sheen turned down the lead role in The Karate Kid to be in Grizzly 2.
It's finally paying off for him.
Yeah. The 4 seconds of screen time he had in it.
Wait, he was supposed to be Daniel?
I guess that's the lead. No, he was going to be Miyagi.
Yeah, he's going to be Mr. Miyagi.
I wasn't sure because he's kind of older than, isn't he? How old was he?
I have no idea. Charlie Sheen has
like
never not looked 45 to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. That's why I'm shocked.
All right, anyway. Also, that movie cost us almost $8 million to make.
How?
They had to pay all those bands. I'm guessing.
Oh, I can't wait.
Just filming the
Wow, I can't wait to talk about it. So, okay, we're almost done. So, Marina wakes up in the gross basement. I can't think. In this situation, I can't think of a worse thing than to be tied to a chair in a basement that's full of water. Gross.
Being tied to a chair in an attic full of water would be pretty weird.
Yeah, because that means the rest of the house you're just
That
fucked.
would be pretty weird. Yeah.
Or someone took a bunch of water and just put it in the attic for some reason. Either way, it's not good.
Where are you going to store your water at?
Yeah, I mean, you right. So, yeah, she's tied up. Olga is there basically asking Lisa to return her brother in exchange for Marina, which is really rude because at this point I'm like, if they survive, they're not going to have a very good relationship anymore. She's trying to sacrifice her, you know? She's essentially, Marina's like, hey, please don't do this. And Olga's like, no, you don't understand. Like, obviously we can't kill Lisa. We need a sacrifice, and I'd rather have my brother back. Which, you know, fine. Then the dad shows up, and it's basically just like, you have to sacrifice yourself. You can't force someone else. Like, you can't give someone else to her in exchange. But then he's, like, talking to her about how strong she is. And, like, I don't really understand this point at all. And he is basically just like, please forgive me for what happened. Lisa shows up, and Dad's pretty stoked to see her because he's like, hey, I still love you. And then I don't know what this note was, so we'll skip it.
What's it say?
But basically, it looks like it. Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say it looks like it says lanternfish, but I don't know why I wrote that. Because when he says "I still love you," Lisa goes "Rah!" and her face is mostly teeth. She's razor toothed, and she looks like a lanternfish. Like her eyes are all big. It's like her whole face is actually a fish now. It looks like a lanternfish. And she takes him down into the water. He's gone. Olga reaches into the water and grabs some of Lisa's hair. Marina gets free and cuts some of it off, and Lisa's like, ah! And she's like flopping around and screaming. She's all gray at this point, and she's like got lots of teeth, and she's like screeching and flopping around or whatever. And Olga is like trying to save her dad, who is long gone at this point, and she also gets grabbed herself and pulled into the water, and she's gone. Marina remembers that Roma exists, and she just leaves. She runs right out of the basement and goes down to the lake. Then she says, hey, it's not all about comb. Lisa's power comes from her hair, and we need to cut it off. But he's kind of just like non-responsive, just like laying on the deck, like, you know. So she still has the scissors in her hand, and she says, give him back and take me, and she jumps into the lake. You know, she can't swim, but it's fine.
You don't
she
need
jumps
to know how
in.
to swim to be in a lake.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just need a comb.
So she jumps in. Lisa comes for her, and she's all like, and everything turns red, and they're like struggling or whatever. And
this is a very sound effects heavy episode.
Yeah. I do really like Lisa. Like, I like her. I get it. She's, you know.
We get it. You're in love with Lisa.
People keep taking her shit, okay? Trying to cut her hair off. She didn't, you know, ask for any of this. So Maria starts cutting her hair off, and meanwhile, Roma is like normal again. And we're like, okay, what's happening? So I feel like it would be so hard to cut someone's hair off underwater too. But then
should have did a Kit Science Corner on that and figure it out.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be very easy to accidentally stab them in the eye, though.
Yeah. And like Marina's hair's pretty long too, and I was like, is she sure she's not cutting her hair off? She also has long blonde hair. It's confusing.
Tax like just cuts all of her hair off, so she's bald for the rest of
Whoops.
the movie.
Marina climbs out of the water, and Roma's like, yay, and they hug, and then she's like, do you love me? And he's like, yes. But then he grabs a hunk of her hair and starts cutting it off. And she starts screaming, and her face, this is like the only part I didn't really like concerning Lisa, because it didn't look great. Her face is kind of like switching between being Marina and Olga and the mom, and also Scary Mermaid Tooth face. And then finally it's Lisa at the end. He has cut all of her hair off, so she just like falls backwards into the water and gets grabbed by all of her dead bodies that were down there, and they pull her down, and she's like, oh no!
I mean,
And
isn't she already living there? Like,
yeah, she's already dead too, so I don't know. Roma jumps into the water and pulls Marina out, who is not breathing. He gives her CPR, and there's kind of like a long scene where you think maybe she's actually dead, but she finally wakes up and is breathing, spits out some of that nasty lake water. Then they get in the car and drive away. Roma is still kind of looking concernicus, though, but we don't really know why, because then it ends. The end.
Sequel.
Mermaid 2.
Revenge.
Lake of the Deader.
Laker of the Dead. This is a Lakers outfit the whole time.
It's Shaq.
Two Mermaid,
Shaq.
two
This is
Angela.
Shaq and Magic Johnson.
Well, but neither of them have hair. How are you going to defeat them?
Exactly.
Shaq's gonna have to grow some long hair.
All right.
If you have male pattern baldness, you're an invincible mermaid.
That's right.
Shaq has the general on his side throughout the whole movie, so
What if it's like the same thing, but like you have to cut off their beard?
I just wanted this movie remade, but everybody cast in it as like a former Laker.
Lakers of the Dead.
All right, that movie was bad. Only watch it if
I still liked it.
you don't like mermaids.
Yeah, I once I kind of realized it was like more of a ghost movie, I liked it, but yeah, definitely not a mermaid movie. My bad.
Any news?
Yeah, so just anybody who watches Shark Fest on Nat Geo, it's going to start July 5th. I saw they had some kind of segment with Chris Hemsworth for some reason. Didn't really realize he was like a shark enthusiast.
He's from
but
Australia, right? He's probably
I
fist
think
fought a
so.
shark in his life.
Yeah. Let's see. I also saw they just dropped a trailer for a animated movie called Straight Out of Nowhere, which is a Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover, and that comes out in September.
It should be a Scooby-Doo NWA crossover.
Yeah, the title was kind of confusing to me, but
Look, they
I
already
love
crossed
Courage the
over.
Cowardly Dog,
They
so-
did a Bobby Flay one. Why not NWA?
It makes sense
Right.
to me.
Yeah. And then I did see a confirmation that the R.L. Stine Fear Street trilogy movies are going to be rated R. And I know I said this like a month ago because I had no idea what day or time it was, and I thought it was already July, but legit, the first one is going to be airing the week that this real episode comes out on Friday, July the 2nd.
As opposed
then,
to the fake episode we recorded.
Oh no, we recorded an episode at when was that? It was like the end of May, and I was like, tomorrow's July.
I don't know.
So this episode comes out on the 28th, and the first Fear Street comes out on the 2nd. So legit, it's coming out this week. So we have the 2nd, the 9th, and the 16th for these three movies, and I am really excited, especially to hear that they are rated R. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. That's pretty much all I saw.
Did anybody watch the trailer for Pigs? or Pig or whatever it's called?
No, I was too busy watching the trailer for Karen.
Well, no, thank you.
I just no, I didn't watch it.
I feel like we're gonna have to do Karen on this podcast at some point.
Oh yeah.
Pigs. I forget what it's called. I forget.
Oh, Pig, like the
I think
Nick
it's
Cage.
Yeah,
called
the
Pig.
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Solo Pig.
Oh yeah, you
yes,
weren't here
looks
last
great.
week. We
It
talked
looks
about it.
so good. Give me Nick Cage as John Wick in a beard. I'm fucking in.
But like
Give me back
service
my
industry
pig.
John Wick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very stoked for that movie. I like there's already like a bunch of like 5-star reviews on Letterboxd. They're like, this looks like the best movie of all time.
As there should be.
Yeah.
Probably will be, yeah.
All right. What do you guys watch this week?
Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic film.
I've seen like half and half where people either like love it or hate it.
Oh, it's very weird. So if you like weird shit and think Kristen Wiig talking in a Minnesota accent is funny, right up your alley.
I'm in.
Yeah.
What about
Barb and Star.
What about you, Katey?
I think the only thing that I watched that wasn't for the podcast was I finally watched Girl with All the Gifts.
Yeah.
All the
I
gifts.
liked it. It's like pretty
Posting them gifs all over the place.
gifs.
How dare you?
It was a zombie movie. Spoilers, I guess. I don't know. Like,
It's
I feel
pretty
like
popular.
the movie.
I think a lot of people saw it.
Yeah, and the book are pretty critically acclaimed. And I'm not really, super into zombie movies, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty interesting concept for zombies. And then, so we finally finished all of the Conjuring movies. We watched, I think all we had left was the last Annabelle, and then I kept saying La Llorona. It's not it's called The Curse of La Llorona. So
Yeah, there was like two of them that
of
came
those.
out at the same time.
Yeah, the Shudder
it's not-
one is good.
It's not the Good Shutter one, which I haven't watched yet, but that's been on my list for a while. So yeah, we finally finished all of them. My overall feeling is they're not great. I know, and La Llorona got a lot of shit, and now I'm really confused because like I'm pretty sure that's the one that the director tried to be like, yeah, this isn't connected at all. But there's like legit a scene where, first of all, the father from not the pastor father from Annabelle is in it, and also they literally show Annabelle the doll in the movie. So I'm not really sure how you're going to try and say it's not connected. And I know that I got like it wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad I felt as people were saying it was, especially in the context of all the other movies. Like I thought it was better than The Conjuring 3 personally. So I don't know. I don't think I gave any of the movies over 3. Maybe not even over 2.5. But out of all of them, I would say that the ones I enjoyed the most were The Nun, the original Annabelle, and like Conjuring 2.
There's too many movies in that universe. Should toss
Yeah.
out like 3 of them.
Well, and it is kind of like every time there's a sequel to one of them, they're like worse and worse. So like for me, the ones at the very bottom are Annabelle 3 and Conjuring 3. Conjuring 3 is at the very bottom for me. Like it's in my opinion the worst of all of them. But
It's so funny because like everybody I like whose opinion I like kind of, I don't know, respect isn't the right word, but like take seriously has been like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And then like half of like horror Instagram is like, this movie's amazing.
Yeah. I feel like anyone whose opinion I align with in most ways are not the people who are saying it's like amazing and awesome. But It's fine. Whatever. Like what you like. I liked Mermaid, Lake of the Dead, and no one else does, so it's fine. Like what you like. But I am very glad that these movies are over. I will say
Until the
that.
next one comes out.
For now.
I meant, yeah, over for me right now. Yes.
Let's see. I watched 31 movies this week.
Really?
I watched Alien from LA, the Kathy Ireland movie, which whips ass. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and 3.
Sick films.
2 Rules. 3 I hadn't seen in a long time, and that movie holds up. The movie doesn't get the respect it deserves.
I'll agree with
I
that.
don't think I've seen it.
Ken Foray's in it, doing the most.
Oh.
It rules. And Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah,
Oh
I'll
my
say
God.
Vigo's in there with a sweet ascot.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. I watched the 1990 Captain America movie, which features a guy who looks like they just slapped clay to his face as the Red Skull, and it rules.
I love it.
I watched the original version of The Lift, the Dick Moss movie, and it's pretty good. I watched Sniper Corps, which was hot trash. It
Or went
The
out.
poster was so
the
good.
poster
though.
rules, and then it ends up just being this weird British drama about like some woman trying to like help this zombie sniper just go to the afterlife or something. From my understanding, it's
I don't like
yeah,
that.
it was bad. I rewatched Scott Pilgrim versus the World twice.
So I was just like on Letterboxd, and I saw that you had that listed as one of your favorite movies, and I was gonna text you about it, and I forgot because I had no idea that you liked that movie at all.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And I just remember being like, "What?"
I hadn't watched it in a
Really?
while, but it rules. It's very good.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it.
It's got like its sketchy kind of things in
Sure.
it, like, but like it's fucking great. Like Edgar Wright just makes good movies. Like it's like I think a lot of people didn't like Baby Driver, which I don't get because Baby Driver fucking rules. Minus, Kevin Spacey being in it. They should just digitally replace him with, I don't know.
Tig, whatever.
And yeah, just Tig
Yes.
Notaro.
Make-
Yes.
Yeah.
Entirely Tig, please.
Let's see. I watched Airplane versus Volcano, which is dumb as shit, but kind of rules.
Did
One.
the airplane win?
I don't know. Dean Cain died in it by driving the airplane full of explosives into a volcano. So,
Then we
What
all
the fuck?
I rewatched The Editor and Psycho Goreman, which are still the best. Police Story with Jackie Chan, incredible.
Wow.
80s Jackie Chan movies, just fucking unbeatable.
Yeah, there's some pretty good. I'm not like a Jackie Chan fan per se, but when we went on that kick of watching the old ones, we watched a few Jackie Chan ones that were like pretty cool.
So he did a movie called The Protector, where it's essentially
Yeah.
it's essentially Police Story, but like he hated working on The Protector because him and the director didn't get along. He didn't like the way it turned out, so Jackie Chan directed his own version of it called Police Story, which is infinitely better. But like The Protector is also not bad, but Police Story just fucking incredible. Possessor, I finally watched. Perfect
Hell
movie.
yeah.
Still haven't
It's
seen that.
so good. I have no idea what was going on in it, but it rules.
that fucking fire poker.
Yeah, right in the fucking teeth.
Ugh.
Ew. Maybe I won't.
It's worse than it sounds.
It's
no.
it's David Cronenberg's son Brandon, so like he
geez.
does fucked up things with bodies. I watched Big Money Hustlers, the ICP movie. Cannot recommend enough. It's pretty fucking bad, but Mick Foley's in it as
all right, done.
as a character called Cactus Sack. And he's just dressed up as Cactus Jack, and he keeps doing like he's wrestling Violent J's character, and like every time he does something, he's trying to like he keeps doing catchphrases from the different like Mick Foley characters because he can't remember Cactus Jack's. and he pulls out a sock called Sacco, and he's like, wait, this isn't right. And he'll like does something else, and he does like the dude love catchphrase. It's like, wait, this isn't right, and he's like trying to get to like the bang bang. And it's pretty fucking funny. It's like the best part of the movie. I think the last one I'll talk about is I watched The Bear Wench Project by Jim Wynorski.
Oh no.
Not great, but pretty fucking funny for what it is. Because it's essentially just the Blair Witch Project with topless women in the woods running around. Very stupid.
That makes sense.
But, you know. Better than the 4 movies I had to watch for this podcast this week. All right, shout outs. Katey, you go.
I'm gonna shout out something that before I watched this movie I felt was going to be in related, which is that new movie Luca.
Yeah.
Because it basically stars it basically stars like this little boy named Luca, and him and his family are like sea monsters that when they come out of the water they turn into humans or whatever. I think it's Pixar that did it, and I thought it was super cute. I saw somebody release a thing that was like, why Pixar movies aren't good anymore, and I was just like, shut the fuck up. It's perfectly fine. Like, the plot's nothing new. Like, I feel like all of these movies kind of have sort of the same plot, but the characters are super cute. It takes place in Italy, so it's just like gorgeous, and I love a sea monster. I thought it was very cute and fun, especially for like a summertime movie. So yeah, I'm gonna recommend Luca.
All right, what about you, Kit?
I'm going to go with 1979's smash hit single "Born to Be Alive" by Patrick Pierre Hernandez.
I don't know what that is.
Go ahead and insert it into the podcast right here because it's a fucking delight. This is a song that was absolutely made to do cocaine to.
Oh,
Like, if you watch a movie, like, this is the song where everyone's just doing rails and having a good time, and then it turns into a drug deal gone wrong, and there's a shootout, and everyone's driving away. But
I'm in.
it's fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough.
I looked at the lyrics and woo boy.
I don't know any of them other than "Born to Be Alive."
That's most of them. That is most of them.
I recommend watching the music video too, because it's just him sitting there with his back to the screen, looking at himself dancing with a cane, and then him that is sitting there occasionally turns to the camera and just goes, "Born to be alive."
Some of the lyrics are, you see, you were born to be alive. Born to be alive.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, classic.
You know?
My shout out is the 53 song Metallica cover album that was announced today.
I thought Kit was going to say that, honestly.
I was waiting
Like,
for him too, because I was going to be like, God damn it, that was mine.
Everyone missed it, but before we recorded, we talked about it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. My shout out is how good the Phoebe Bridgers cover is eventually going to be.
One day.
Yeah. And assuming Darius Rucker's probably cover of Enter Sandman is going to be hot trash.
I don't even know what to expect. Realistically, I probably will not listen to it. But
I feel like you're going to listen to like one song on it and be like, I'm good.
yeah, well, I pulled up the one that Miley Cyrus and Elton John did and was watching some of the music video, and
You're going to check out
that was enough for me.
Ghost.
I might check out the Ghost one, honestly. Yeah, just to see what's going on with that. But
all right.
Yeah.
Next week, my apologies to both of you.
Oh no.
We are going to watch 2017's Slaw.
What? That's not.
Oh no, Kevin Nash.
Yes.
The Kevin Nash movie.
The Kevin Nash movie that is the parody of the Saw movies. Two foodie brothers kidnap
What?
and torture those who ruin their dining experience. A parody of the Saw saga. Oh, it's gonna be so bad. I can't wait. I picked it
Like
even.
coleslaw?
Yes,
I expect better from Kevin.
I do not. He blocked me on Twitter, so.
No. Oh no. What is this?
I have not watched the
like this at
trailer,
all.
but I know it's gonna be fucking terrible. And I saw it on Tubi, and I was like, I am in. We also might have a guest that I'm going to force watch it too. So
So the poster is basically the Saw cover with the hand, but there's like
a bunch of cabbage.
what
Yeah.
what looks to be the grossest coleslaw I've ever seen, with also an eyeball on it.
That's all coleslaw.
I'm surprised.
Let's be real.
Kit, did you see
No.
who else is in this movie besides Kevin Nash? Luke Gallows.
Oh my god, I clicked on the IMDb page but did not see that. What the fuck?
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait.
How are you gonna get Luke
I-
Gallows but not Carl Anderson?
Yeah.
I have regret.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Also, Luke Gallows' IMDb picture is incredible.
His picture on Letterboxd is pretty good. I can't wait. So, I mean, episode 150 is gonna be pretty good. Oh boy, I can't wait.
So we've got to do food, and we've got to finally do Inhuman Witch.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do that. We should all just pick fucking shitty food movies.
Well, it is Inhuman, which still on Tubi. Oh, okay. I guess
Slaw's got a 2.3 rating on Letterboxd.
Yes, because Kevin Nash is a good actor.
all right.
It's
gonna
got
pick
2 5-star reviews.
Killer Donut. Finally.
It's-
Attack of the
Finally.
Killer Donut.
Like this movie only has 84 people that have watched it on Letterboxd.
Oh, jeez.
That's more than enough.
Oh boy. Alright. If you want to support us in watching good movies like Slaw, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/IHopeYouSufferPodcast.
Give us money so we can all
Get
rent Neil Breen movies and do a Neil Breen month.
we could get Kevin Nash on the podcast. We announced the July bonus episode, the theme of bears, and we're watching Prophecy, Grizzly 2 Revenge, and Chernobyl Diaries. Much like the
What a month.
Keenan episode, varying degrees of bears in these movies.
Yeah.
You could get merch at storefrontier.com/IHopeYouSuffer. Leave us a rating and review on iTunes and tell us your favorite hairbrush noises. Or if you would make a movie or watch a movie with Katey doing dolphin noises. Follow us on Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. Follow Kit at Hidden Kitstery. Follow Katey at Werewolf Face. Listen to my other podcast, Nate Gay Movie Club. I hope you lake but the dead. I think. I hope you squelch.
Barb and Star.
I was gonna say, I hope you comb and squelch.
I hope you have poop in your hair, but why?